When I woke up this morning, first thing I did was to open up the day in prayer. I prayed for health and strength. As I went through this day, I've faced many challenges, but I stand before you as a man who's played basketball as long as I've been alive. In my 13-year career, the media has counted me out time and time again. Through injuries and sickness, I've not been there for my team. But the common thread in my entire career has always been that I've never given up on my team. You'd have to force me to be out, which is why, under my own choice, I will not be sitting out.
Wow.
Under my own choice, I will be playing in tonight's game, regardless of the pain, regardless of the pressure. It's a historic time for the Rugby IM team. This is a chance for the first program playoff win in history. And that's just an opportunity you can't pass up. As we approach this playoff game, I'm hoping for the strength to defeat our football opponents. But I know it'll be difficult. I know they'll send everything they have at us. But where they have physicality, I have brains and I have skill. I'm ready to come out tonight and do everything my team needs of me. I'm a loyal player, and I'll do what it takes for the team to win. Questions? Thank you. Back there.
Wait, Mike, PDD Sports. I was just wondering, when it came down to making your decision, at any point did you think, hey, me playing injured, not 100%, will hurt my team more than it'll help?
You know, and this is where it becomes a tough decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, as my team's leading scorer, and as the person who scored more than half the points for our team this season,
To relax.
I know that my team needs me regardless of the scenario. And I know that regardless of the injury that I'm facing, that my ability to help the team out mentally and in ways that don't include purely basketball outweigh the potential deficit of my injury. And I know that my IQ and intangibles are necessary for the team today. Question back there?
Also, William, PDD Sports. I was just wondering, with you being hurt right now, is there any thought in your mind that playing this game and risking a potential further injury to your shoulder has come into play and potentially put you out for multiple weeks or months?
And this is
in a meaningless game where you are favored to lose by 7.5.
And this is where you really had to weigh the options is whether or not this game is valuable enough to risk it. I watched my teammate yesterday in a rugby practice potentially re-tear his ACL. And this just reminds you of, how dangerous life can be.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned from playing basketball these many years is that you control your own destiny. You play smart and you play safe. Someone I've played for a very long time, I think, I know the ways to control my body to try to avoid injury. I know the type of game that I need to play if I'm looking to not re-injure this. This is a monumental game. This is a big game for this IM team, and I understand the risks, but I understand the benefits as well. Question from Jarrett. I've got a question here from Jarrett from BYU Sports. Do you feel that your team was underseeded, and what are the expectations for tonight's game?
Okay, that has nothing to do with the injury. Why the fuck is he asking that? BYU Sports should be banned from this fucking place.
Thank you for the question, Jarrett. Look, this team has really come from the depths of it. Last few years we've really finished at the bottom of the barrel. We had a couple of great picks this year. We had 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. And that really helped us, that really launched us off the ground. Getting up to a 5 seed, getting to the top half of the bracket, that's very tough. And underseeded, I'm not sure. We had some tough games with some tough opponents that, could have swung our way. And so I wouldn't say we're underseeded, but I would say that, we're a dangerous team. We can make plays. And for the expectations tonight, I'm expecting to go. I'm expecting to have a hard game. And, regardless of the outcome, I just want to know that I gave everything I had to the team. Back there.
Yeah, William Hladky, PDD Sports again. I just like to point out that in the state semifinal and quarterfinal game, you notoriously sat out for your high school team, and you gave up on them. And I was just wondering why you gave up on them and you're not giving up today.
So,
does this mean more to you than high school did?
As I said earlier in the press conference, is the only way you could keep me out is you had to hold me down. And I was.
You could have played.
I was told by my team doctors then, that I had to be held down, and I was really saddened by that. But I understood the gravity of that situation. I was killed to not be out there. And I think that's part of the reason I'm making this decision today, that when the choice is in my hands, I want to be there for my team.
I just got a text from Ben Calls About Sports. He has a question. He's wondering, Billy, what do you have to do, especially with the shoulder injury, to really, shape or change your game from previous games you've played? Maybe if it affects your shooting or your dribbling or anything.
That's a good question. And, I think to get to the depths of it, I think this year I've really been guided by my 3-point shot this year. I'd say it's been one of my stronger aspects of my game this year. Is I've really been able to make some threes in big games. If you think back to the game against Flight School and game against Fruz, a couple of good games there. And I don't know if that weapon's going to be in my arsenal tonight. But you also that's something you want to keep in the toolbox, because if the team that we're facing tonight is coming out and thinking that I don't got it in my toolbox, I'm gonna have to do what I can to make it happen. But I think tonight I'm really gonna emphasize getting the ball to my teammates, getting in toward the basket, but not taking any dangerous contact. So being more methodical with how I'm working around the basket.
I see.
Any more questions? Thank you. I'll see you tonight.